Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome again to our show, My Confession. The day has started again. We are here to help solve many problems, many challenges, any difficulties. As you can remember, last week we talked about a lady, 18 years old girl, Magdalene, asking for some important materials to use, but being neglected with her dear mother. But today we thank God, after all that she was going through, she has managed to find solution to her problems. So far, we believe that you are still helping so many people who are yearning to find help outside here. Today we are going to talk about a young guy known as Abel, who is also going through a challenge in his life. He has a girlfriend, but they are dating through a long-distance relationship. During the process, a child is born. Listening to the side of the mother, he finds some stories are not adding up. Maybe there are some fishy stories that he doesn't know. He's so depressed. He really needs some help. So we are here again. We try to help this guy in order to start again and find solution to his life. I am your host, Sarah Mashau, and with my good friend, welcome to the show, Mr. Dennis.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here again, and looking forward to helping another soul today.
Most welcome, and we really appreciate.
Naitwa Abel. Mina manzi yangu tuna date long distance relationship. Mina stay na hii, yana stay Machau. So last year 2023 late last year nilienda Ocha kumcheki, alikuwa ameshika ball. Before niambie ako nayo, tulikuwa tunapiga story ya wase fulani wenye walikuwa nakatia beshte yake. Sa story ilikuwa tu sawa hadi kafika point nikaanza kuona nikana nipea details mingi na anaenda straight to the point. Nikashuku, nikamuuliza anajuaje wase. Sana mmoja wao mwenye anaitwa Jonte juu alimtaja sana. Yaka niambia namjua tu juju. Lakini mimi nilishuku kama watu kunyamazia. Fast forward, vitu zilikuwa sawa. Once in a while nilikuwa naenda Ocha kumjulia hali, kujua kwa aje. So the next year ikafika 2024 January, akajifungua. Mtoto alikuwa healthy. Shida tu ilikuwa moja. Nikijaribu kubeba mtoto hii, mtoto analia mbaya. Sa nikajiconvince tu, nikajiambia labda ndo nature yao. Kigrow labda vitu zita change. Sa mtoto akagrow. Mtindo ilikuwa tu the same. Huo hataki nimshike, hataki nimhug. Lakini kila mtu mwingine anamkubali. Sa hadi nikaanza kushuku nikaa mtoi anaweza kuwa si wangu. Juu hata hakuwa ananifanana, lakini madhake alikuwa ashachukua rangi yake, na ule Jonte alikuwa anakaa Jonte sana, na alikuwa anafanana na watu wao pia. Sa na mi already nilikuwa nishaambiwa Jonte tu ni boyfriend ya beshte yake. Mi niko confused, hata naogopa kumuuliza story ya mbona anifanani na mbona anakaa Jonte. Siku moja tukipiga story kaleta tu story ya familia fulani waliamua kufanya DNA test, na ya kusikia hivyo ali overreact vibaya sana. Alisema kana mshuku ama nikileta story kaya hizo hata Madam Toi na Jimade. Saa mi nahitaji advice juu bado mi ni kijana mdogo na sisikii poa, niko depressed. Hisi story tunaweza enda nikiambia wasee. Saa nafaa kufanya nini sasa?
The story is really touching. I try to ask myself, you believe so much to your spouse or your partner. You believe that he or she is not going to disappoint you in any way. You trust this person so much, no matter the distance between you. You go visit your lady up country. She opens to you and tell you stories about her friends. Something clicks to his mind. Is she talking about somebody else or herself? Then later, she's pregnant. This lady have not said anything. The guy, Mr. Abel, find it on himself. The child is being born. Resemblance is totally asking lots of questions. This child is not resembling Mr. Abel, but maybe to the side of the mother and her relatives. But to him, no any resemblance, but resemble the other guy, Mr. John. Johnny. So I'm trying to understand, is Johnny responsible or not? Is Abel okay doubting his girlfriend or not? He tries to look for a way in order to find maybe solution. Shares a story about DNA tests. Wow. The lady is not ready to listen to this story. He tries to threaten her boyfriend that if he takes a DNA test, he will commit suicide together with the child. So where is the truth? Johnny is really depressed. He loves the child, but don't know if the child is his or somebody else. The lady is not willing to open up and say everything. So I believe Johnny is really going through a lot of depression, a lot of stress. Mr. Dennis.
Yes.
I believe Johnny trusting his girlfriend is because of true love, isn't it? So now, for me, understanding true love is that You are ready to respect this person. You are there to understand this person. Very ready to wait for this person. So is there true love? Is there real love? Is there real affection between these two?
First things first, I think it is sad, because before even we go to affection and everything, let's look at it from a point of hope, because I think one thing with what we call long distance relationships is there is no real, it is normally pegged on an aspect of hope. Hope that you will practice integrity. Do who you are. Integrity is basically who you are when nobody is watching you.
Yeah.
So there is that hope that you'll practice integrity yourself. Okay. Hope that you will both work to keep that fire burning.
Yeah.
You see. Therefore, there is a lot of hope lost with this person. Okay. And now to your question, whether there is real love, I think the aspect of love is broad. It's very complex. And everyone has a very different outlook when it comes to love. But the thing is, if there is any feeling of affection, I'd like to believe that it is unidirectional. It is only in one direction. Okay. And the rest may be either compensation, maybe a mistake happened somewhere and nobody is willing to admit it, or there are feelings of mistrust. Therefore, if there is only, there must be affection in this story, I'd like to believe that it is only unidirectional. It is only in one direction. That's all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. We are going to take a short break. And when we are going to be back, we'll talk more about Abel's story.
Je, wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
We are back to our show, my confession. Yes, you've said it all, but now there's this query that is lingering in my mind. Is this lady dating two guys, Johnny and Abel? Is she in a serious relationship between these two men? Or is she in a serious relationship with one guy?
Well, we cannot know for sure what's happening, but I think there's one rule that is common in the streets, that if you're going to lie, avoid details. You know, it's not scientific, it's not psychological, it's just out there. Okay. So I think the first thing that goes left is the fact that Abel picks too many details, specific details from this story that who's the girl's name? The girlfriend.
The girlfriend,
I don't remember her name. That the girlfriend tells her. Okay, there are too many precise details, you know, and you see, it is normally it's normally difficult to remember such details with precision, especially if it's a long story. If you're to come and tell me a story and tell me everything from start to finish, unless I wrote down, I made notes, it is normally difficult for me to remember the story with precision, you know.
Yeah.
Details, names, locations, places, you know. So that's the first bit. Okay. The second bit is the fact that the kid is repulsive towards the father. And as he says, when the kid was born, they were happy. Okay.
Yeah.
And that means he was proud of
To be a father.
exactly. That is what I'm making from it. So with that, there's the repulsion also casts another question, you know.
Yeah.
The fact that the kid is repelling the father. And you see, I'm not really saying that kids do that and kids can pick. The thing is, children learn, and they learn with repeated exposure to the same environment. Okay. Therefore, if there is tension in the family, if there is distress in that family, the children pick it. So it may be that, I don't know when the repulsion started, but it may be that the child was able to pick it, to pick that tension, to pick that stress between these two people.
Okay.
Okay. I also don't know how long the repulsion has been for. Okay. Because I think, according to the story, some time had gone by. I think 2 years before the guy decided to go for a DNA test.
Yeah.
Before the guy decided to go for a DNA test. Okay. So I don't know whether the repulsion went on for the 2 years, or it's something that began and ended as time went by. So that's another thing. So what you can see is there's a lot of mistrust between the two people, okay, based on the examples I've given. Okay. And also based on that, you find that they use other scenarios to communicate to each other. Okay. When perhaps when this lady wanted to tell her about her situation, she may have used
A friend.
the friend and Jonte and everything. Okay. When this guy wants to introduce the DNA story, he comes with a story of a couple in Nairobi that had done the same thing. You see, it doesn't really take too long to try and piece that perhaps there's also no honest communication between these two people. Okay? Because if I need to manufacture characters, real or imagined, or use someone else's story to come and try and pass a message to you, that means that I may not trust you enough to be open with you. You know, tell you that, hey, I'm not comfortable with this situation. You know, A, B, and C is giving me doubts, and for these reasons, I'd like to go for a test. Okay? Or I've been lonely, I've not been comfortable with this long distance relationship, or something happened between me and someone. So it was a mistake, it was planned, anything. The thing is, there is no open and honest communication between these two parties. Okay? So I think there's also that. And based on all that, the initial question was whether
The lady's dating
yes,
the two guys.
the thing is, I don't know, but there is a breakdown in the communication, and the other thing is, as far as they're using other characters to communicate, I think there is this, again, it is a trend. I don't know, it's a trend. It's something that happens out there. People normally, especially if you know that the reaction will be negative, you see the way you approach a parent, you can approach a parent and tell her about yourself by manufacturing a story about your friend. You know, yeah, children do that. What I know is children do that to their parents.
Yeah.
You know, they'll go and tell you, oh, my friend did this and this and this and that, and now he's at a dilemma. What does he do? While in the real sense, he's the one in the dilemma.
Yeah.
You see, so maybe it may have been something that these people are doing to each other. You know, since they can't really confront each other, they come up with stories from outside, and they tell each other, "Hi, I know of a friend who did ABCD," while in the real sense, they're the ones that are doing whatever they are purporting their friends to have done. Yes. Therefore, I can't really say anything towards their relationship. It's quite ambiguous. However, I can point to several factors that tend to bring some sort of disconnect between both of them. Yeah.
Okay, so in short, maybe there is a relationship between these three people, or maybe it was just a mistake, isn't it? So, to help Abel with all the questions, with all the doubts, with all the anxieties, how can you help him to understand where he is, whether to continue with his doubt, or maybe to ask, what can you try to help him do in order to ascertain his doubts?
You see, what Abel needs first is closure, you know, because in his mind there are too many question marks.
So many.
You know, he said that he went home, you know. I think in the story is Ushago.
Yeah.
So he goes home once in a while to check on his girlfriend, yes. So as he goes home once in a while to check on his girlfriend, he's being told stories that don't add up. Once the baby is born, the baby does not
accept.
Not even accepting, he does not look like him.
Yeah.
He looks like Jonte and people from Jonte's family. So I'd like to believe that Jonte, in this case, is a real existing person. Okay.
Yeah.
3, the baby is repulsive towards him. So you find that and 4, on the inquiry of a DNA, the girlfriend is she is overreacting, you know, and she's bringing out an exaggerated response. That that's why you don't trust me, they come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to make matters worse, there is an aspect of emotional manipulation.
Yeah.
You know, if you come again with this DNA thing, I'm going to take my life and the kid's life.
Yeah.
Okay, that's emotional manipulation, because from the story, I think, and I'd like to believe strongly, that Abel loves his child.
Yeah.
And perhaps loves the girlfriend.
True.
Okay. Therefore, the girlfriend is using Abel's emotions to try and guilt trip this person into not making the decision, not going for the test. Okay. Therefore, I think first, there are a lot of questions in Abel's head. And for me, I think the solution is not only with Abel. It's also with the girl.
Okay.
Because the only way to deal with questions in Abel's head is to go for to know what the truth is.
He should ask the girl.
Okay. I've not really said that, but it's to know where the truth is.
Okay.
From start, because there are so many things that do not add up. And it has also now come up with mistrust. Therefore, if he happens to ask the girl, if I don't trust you and I ask you something, I may not believe what you're telling me.
True.
Okay? Because you've lied to me once, you've lied to me again and again and again and again. Okay? So you find that the only way Abel may come to have peace with himself is when he finds out the truth. Okay? But now you find with the story, there may not be many avenues where the truth can be found directly.
Yeah.
You see? Therefore, what I'd encourage is both of them, they need to start somewhere. If there is someone that they can approach that can do this, if they can also approach a professional, as I've said, there are a lot of things that are wrong in this relationship, and it's actually becoming toxic, you see. So if they can also approach a professional, maybe they can work out their issues, and they can all work towards gaining acceptance. Acceptance of the situation that may have happened.
Yeah.
And acceptance of each other. Yes. And once they start working towards acceptance, both of them, you find that the family also starts to heal. The child starts to see positive thoughts, positive actions between their parents. And he starts to embrace this other person. Because I don't really, I think, as I've said, children tend to pick what is going on in the family. Therefore, if there is distress in the family, the child will pick it. If there is sadness in that family, the child can pick it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to understand is that Abel needs to at least speak out, isn't it? Abel needs to ask her girlfriend these questions, no matter how painful or difficult they are, isn't it? So Abel, don't fear to ask these questions for the peace of your mind.
And he needs to look for help with the girlfriend, because he may ask and drive too much, and the girlfriend becomes serious and decides to. And that we'll be dealing with now another story.
Okay. Abel, we are really here for you. So you need to find solution together with your girlfriend. We are going to take another short break. We will be back.
Je, wewe ni mfanyabiashara katika sekta ya elimu, afya bora, usafiri ama unamiliki kampuni yoyote ile? Ungependa kupata fursa ya kutangaza biashara yako ili kuwafikia wateja zaidi? Usikonde. Runinga ya Younib inakupa fursa ya kupeperusha matangazo kuhusu bidhaa na huduma unazotoa kwa bei nafuu. Kwa maelezo zaidi, wasiliana nasi kupitia nambari za simu 0750344700 ama kupitia barua pepe marketing@younibtv.com. Jinyakulie leo. Younib TV, ever the best.
We are back again to journey with our friend Abel. To my side, the way I can see things here, what if the way they are trying to solve this situation and it fails? They don't get the best answer, the best solution to this problem. How is it going to affect their relationship if they decide to maintain the way they are? How is it going to affect this relationship?
You see, if they opt to continue like this, there is a lot of mistrust already that is brewing in this relationship. Okay? And there is no relationship that can flourish in an environment with mistrust.
True.
Okay? Therefore, it is very complicated for these people to get on with their relationship, because with mistrust, first of all, you cannot have open and honest communication. You know? Therefore, people will be there just to, in Kiswahili they say kuvumiliana. Okay? Si kwamba kuna mapenzi pale, but because they don't want to break their family, they choose to tolerate one another.
So meaning they go through a lot of pain there.
Exactly.
They suffer a lot.
Exactly. That's one possibility. Okay. Another possibility is anger. You know, the one thing that we've not really talked about is anger. You know, Abel may be feeling a lot of anger. Because, number one, he thinks that there was some sense of infidelity in this story. And I think that normally hits a man's pride personally. Okay. Second, he feels he's being lied to, or he may feel he's being lied to, severally. And that is another problem. Okay. So you find that there's a lot of anger that is brewing in this relationship. And it may get to a point that it may spill over. And we don't know what may happen once the anger boils over. Okay. Thirdly, you find that it may lead to a dysfunctional family. Yes, a family that may be marked by neglect in one way or another, or that may be marked by manipulation, extreme manipulation. Because, you see, one thing that is normally saddening in today's families is people tend to use emotions against their partners. They know that the partner loves them or their children, and there is nothing that they can't do for them, so they tend to use it against them. And you see, in as much as we are emotional beings, we are also conscious beings. We are aware of what we do and how what we do makes us feel. Okay.
Yeah.
Therefore, I think there may be a lot of anger in this relationship, and it may result in a lot of things. Abel looking for alternative ways to cope. That may be drug and substance abuse, not coming home more often, because as I think, according to the story, they're in a long distance relationship, right?
Yeah,
so he doesn't spend much of his time there. So him failing to come home more often, and many other things that may arise. Yeah.
Wow. So, to avoid all this from happening, they still need to find a proper resolution to this as early as possible.
Yeah, both of them.
Now, what about this child? How is it going to affect this child according to the situation, the way it is, and they leave it at that place, leave it that way? So how is it going to affect this child? Remember, this child is still growing up, living in the same community. The same man is around there. So how is it going to affect this child?
You see, one thing with children is they tend to be very inquisitive beings. As they grow up, they tend to have a curious mind. They tend to look at why does something happen the way it does. So I won't be surprised when the child starts asking the question.
Yeah.
Auntie fulani alisema nafanananga na
Johnny.
fulani. Okay? So, and the thing is, the kid will ask once, he'll ask again.
And again.
And again. And again. Until he gets the answer. And that can also, and depending on how the child will receive the news, or how the news will be availed to the child in the first place, that can tell quite a lot to this child and how he takes it. He may become angry, either at himself, I'm assuming it's a boy, at himself or at the parents for, what is this called? For the news, He may become frustrated, okay? But also, depending on also how the child gets to learn of the news, it may also impact how the outlook of the child on the family, And you see, another thing is the child can also be weaponized as the child grows up. Weaponized in this sense. As the child grows up, and comes to realize that he is not the father's, he is not Abel's son. a narrative can be used, especially when it's a long distance relationship, to spew hatred against the father. It happens when when a mother and the father are not in good terms, and you hear parents of the either side say negative things about the other parent. Yeah? You hear stories like huyu baba yenyu, huyu mama yenyu. Okay? So you find that this makes the child grow with a certain mindset about the dad. And mindset normally shapes reactions.
Okay.
So you may see responsiveness to the father go down, reduce, or something of that sort. Okay, because the child is already conditioned to believe that this is not such a good person. He left us. He went to do whatever he went to do. That time he left mom alone. Yeah. So there's a lot we can speculate on what may happen, but at the end of the day, it's just a speculation.
Okay.
Because it depends with how the message is delivered and with what the family has resolved. Because you see, another thing we've not talked about is what happens if they choose to confront each other and tell each other the truth. There are times when the truth is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Because, okay, you've chosen to tell me this right now, just now. Yeah? Then why should you've lied to me for so long. Why should we stick together? That's a deal breaker. There are times when the truth brings people together and makes people fall in love stronger than they had before, or deeper than they had before. See? So it first starts with the first straw is, how do these people find a solution together to this menace? How do they tell each other? What happens after they tell each other? That is now when you start thinking about the children.
Okay. So I'm trying to understand that also the child is also going through a lot of challenges, whether he's still young, still growing, and in his or her youth. So another query is that this Johnny guy, is he also going to react, say the story, or is he supposed to just keep quiet, or where is he standing here?
Okay, you see, with Jonte, what happens is we leave Jonte to chance. Okay? Because the girlfriend may choose not to react. Then Jonte, out of nowhere, decides, you know what? I want to be a part of my kid's life.
Yeah.
And he ends up coming to see the kid and do everything with the kid. You see? And maybe Abel finds out through that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay? However, the thing is, with psychological help, they're able to find a way that they can resolve this thing amicably. Because remember, parenting, okay, I'm not an expert on parenting. I'm not a parent myself. But remember, I think parenting is consensual. Okay? I want, you want, we agree.
Okay.
Therefore, I think through various therapies, they may be able to come to an agreement come to an understanding as to how they will carry this out. Yeah. But once, if Jonte decides to be part of the family, he will steer things up, because he will be bringing unnecessary trouble to the girl, because it will have turned out that she lied after all. Two, if Jonta wants to become part of this family, how does Abel really take it? Okay, that's another thing. Because you see, Abel has really had his doubts. So when Jonte comes to claim his share, he'll be proving Abel right.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is another potential source of conflict. Yes, so if they choose to go for therapy, family therapy or something of that sort, they can be able to sort out their issues, in an amicable manner.
Wow. So a lot has been said. A lot has been given to you, Abel, and other guys who are still facing the same problem like Abel. Remember, you are 3 people in this story. If it's too difficult, go for help. Talk to psychologists outside there. They will give more solutions to this. I've been your host, Sarah Mashau, and our specialist, Mr. Dennis. Say a word to our viewers.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for having me here. It's always an honor and a pleasure to interact and to try and find, to try and discuss more about these issues that are here, because they're common issues in our community. And I really would like to appreciate Abel. So I'd really like to appreciate Abel for coming out and telling us the story, because I'd like to believe that there is someone who has learned something, a thing or two, from these interactions that we have. Therefore, I'd really like to commend Abel for his strength and his bravery, and I'd like to encourage other people, to come out and seek help with the issues that are going on. Yeah. There are places where you can find counseling for free, so you don't need to burden yourself with such issues.
Yeah. That has been our guest, Dennis Hawaweru, who is our psychologist, our specialist, and I've been your host, Sarah Mashau. Let's meet again on Tuesday, 8 p.m. in this show, My Confession.